Usually I don't do stuff like this. Usually I don't get on social media and act a fool and tell my life story and tell my business, because this is not me. This is not something that I do. But I don't have anybody else, and I don't have nobody else to have my back, so I need the world to have my back in this situation. I've been in the hospital sick, going through pain after pain, surgery after surgery after surgery here at Midland Memorial Hospital. And the whole time I've been treated like I have not been shit. I've been treated like I've been a dog. And I've had multiple surgeries. And just for people to come in here and drag me on the floor, let me fall on my face, let me fall on my staples and bust open, and all I get, like I said, I've been dealing with this for weeks now. I've been in this hospital for 20-something weeks now. 20-something days now. And the whole time I've had maybe a selection of five or four good nurses that have came in and that has tried to take care of me. But this in particular day, I was sitting here. I had to have an NG tube put in because I couldn't eat or nothing, and I was throwing up bile, and I had a bowel obstruction. I came down from the surgery and I was literally throwing up my life still. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. They had to put me on really, really strong medicine. So I get into the room and I'm still throwing up. I'm still going through what I'm going through, and they tell the nurse that's there for the night shift that I was sedated because I was that sick. Strong medicine. So I get into the room and I'm still throwing up. I'm still going through what I'm going through, and they tell the nurse that's there for the night shift that I was sedated because I was that sick. And my aunt, she had to go get my daughter. She had to go back and get her for me. So what she was doing was she left her with my other aunt to take care of her until she can get back there. And she asked the girl before she left, she said, "Can you please take care of my niece, because they haven't been doing what they're supposed to. They hadn't been taking care of her the way that she needs to be taken care of." And then the girl, my auntie, walked out the door to go sit here and go get my daughter. And the girl's gonna sit here and say, "Oh, she getting on my nerves talking to me like that. I can take care of her how I want to. And if she comes back in here, I'm gonna slap her in her mouth if she keeps on coming back in here." That's the nurse. That's what the nurse said. If she keeps on coming back in here. That's the nurse. That's what the nurse said. Then she turned around and she was like, "I can treat this girl how I want to treat her." And she grabbed me and she pulled my G-tube and she slammed my head up against the bed. So I'm crying and I'm going through what I'm going through. That ain't even it. Then she sat here and she left out the room, and I told her I was in pain. I was crying. I was screaming, y'all. I was doing everything. And then I tried to call her in there. When I called her in there, I told her I had to pee. And she got me up to try to help me to pee, but then she let me go, y'all, and I fell. I fell 3 times on my face. And finally I crawled up to the bed, and when I finally got able to crawl up to the bed, I laid down and she walked out the room again. And I tried to call again and she ended up turning off my bed. When she turned off my bed, I couldn't get hold to nobody, and I was crying and I was screaming. I was crying and I was screaming. I was telling them that I needed to pee, and then I started peeing all on myself. And then by the time that I had got back in the bed, I had already busted my staples, so I'm peeing on myself and there's blood all over the place. Then she came back in, her and the CNA, and they're having a whole conversation about shoes. The whole time while I'm sitting here going through what I'm going through, they're talking about shoes. They're not talking about nothing else but their shoes. And then finally, she got mad again. And because she had to clean up my pee and my blood. And she wiped me really hard in my private. And then she threw the gown over me. Finally, I was in so much pain and I thought I was dying. And I snatched the cord out of the wall. And then whenever I snatched the cord out of the wall, she came and she ran in here real quick. And I said, "I want to charge nurse. I want to speak to the house supervisor. I want to charge nurse." And she was like, "I'm your nurse." And I was like, "No, I want some." And she was like, "I'm your nurse." And I was like, no, I want somebody that's going to help take care of me, let alone there's people walking by constantly. They're not helping. They're not coming in to see what's going on. Nothing. And then turn around and she leaves out again. I snatched the cord out again for the second time, and she comes back in and she's yelling at me and she's like, stop doing that. I told you I was your nurse. And I said, I don't want you. I want a charge nurse. And she still continuously snatched the cord out of my hand and walked out the room. And then the third time I did it again, and that's when the CNA, she got a heart. And I told her, no, I need help. I want somebody to come in here and help me. And then she finally allowed somebody to come in here and help me. And today I spoke to the house supervisor and the manager, and he told me that he's sorry he has to be dual. But I should have called when it first happened, and I did. I called when it first happened, and look now.
Hey y'all, if y'all would please share this video out, post it on your Facebook, your Twitters, Snapchat, all social platforms. This young lady's voice needs to be heard. This happens too much in our community. If you all remember the doctor who was suffering and not being treated properly in the hospital ended up passing away. Let's not let this happen to this young lady. She is a mother. She has a daughter. Please spread the word.